You know they say I be better past anybody. They say what she wrote, and your boy no. See, say what the hustle know they make chance pass me by. So make it do your best and use your sense. I show the stress since I put God first. Charlie, it no be race, it no be test. The jar guide so no one can test. So make it tell them. So we do come no the fear them. Baba birthday for my side, so no shake.
Yeah, when you're media, on Tonko na ondo. On any CCTV, they be and anyone so. Even if I walk through the valley of death, I know the fear. Every day be your guide. Yeah, yeah, when you're media, on Tonko na ondo. On any CCTV, they be and anyone so. Even if I walk through the valley of death, I know the fear. Every day be your guide. So
make you no cry, no cry. Say you go be, make you still try. You no draw money near me. Gosh, no good way. I pity make you no cry, still try. Say you go be, make you no cry. You no draw money near me and die. I don't mean a summer. I don't mean a dimmy. I don't mean a dimmy. Team in China, cheetah. Don't mean a summer.
Online, on mobile, soon on DAB. This is Starr Radio. Online, on mobile, soon on radio station Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Thanks for listening. Welcome.
I know the fear. Every day be your guide.
Nyame baako pɛ ne bɔ me ho ban. Ti mu a mo bɔ me ho pɔ na mo fa me ho tan. Budidi masena mo bɔ me sekan. Mo ma no Thomas mo se me twede botan wo dɔ me. Bitu me di hwe bi kana me fia. Chale me sɔra no pa me hwehwɛ ne media. Senia enipa bi kura bubu me ni tia. Wo nyame ɔso bi kwa kama ye hyese mo chia. Wo me ni sa me to na mo na mo twa me to fɛ. Wo mo tumi nku ne tema komem. Wo ne me kama fo wo ne makochem. My mente was in a mente was or can I say Musafa was Sankanya Mishirano, Unyamena, wash me bontina di piano, and Sana, Udi Medina Bekobi piano, Kaisa was Shemi, Ubiduna with Siano, El Shada.
Yamibia, on Tonko na ondo, on any CCTV, they be and I know the fear, every day be your guide.
The others keep on talking, we keep on rocking.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, the everlasting doors. By the King of glory my coming. Let everything that has breath praise the name of the Lord. From the north, south, east, west, join me, praise the name of the Lord. Put on your dancing shoes. Come and join me, praise the Lord. Come and join me, praise His name. He has turned my sorrow to joy. He has given me victory. Come and join me. Come and join me, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Come and join me, bless His name. He has turned my sorrow. My sorrow, He has turned it to joy. He has given me victory. Mama, papa, sister, brother, come and join me, bless His name. He has wiped away my tears. He has given me laughter. Come and join me. Come and join me, praise the Lord. Join me, praise the Lord. Come and join me, bless His name. Let us bless His name. He has turned my sorrow to joy. Hallelujah. He has given me victory. Oh, come and join me. Come and join me, praise the Lord. Join me, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Come and join me, bless His name. I will bless bless your name, O Lord.
He has turned my sorrow to
You have turned my sorrow to joy.
He has given me victory.
Hallelujah, you are God, you reign forever. Oh yo, oh yo, oh yo, era ti duwa hini.
Oh yo, oh yo, oh yo, era duwa hini.
Oh Lord, my God, oh Lord, you are the King of Kings.
Oh yo,
oh yo, oh yo,
oh yo, era duwa hini.
Olúwa, Olúwa wa, Olúwa, ẹ̀yin lọ́ba àwọn ọba.
Oh yo, oh yo,
you are Lord of
oh yo, era duwa hini.
Jehovah, I wanna really thank you. Darling Jesus, I wanna thank you, Lord. Holy Ghost, my great companion. I am grateful for all you have done.
Welcome.
Jehovah, I wanna really
thank you, Lord.
Darling Jesus, I wanna thank you, Lord. Holy Ghost, my great companion.
Lord.
I am grateful for all you have done.
Papa, you big God.
As my problem,
Papa, you are bigger.
bigger than all my questions.
Papa, you are bigger.
Bigger than all my questions.
Bigger, Papa.
Bigger than all my questions.
Bigger.
Bigger than what people say.
Oh, Jehovah.
Bigger than what people say.
You are mighty.
You are mightier than what people say.
You are good, Lord. You are great, oh Lord. You are good, Lord. You are great, oh Lord. You are mighty.
Mightier than what people say.
Mommy, have you had
My time has come.
my time of glory?
My time has come.
My time to succeed.
My time has come.
My time to shine. My time of blessing. My time to excel. My time to succeed. My time of glory.
My time has come.
He go better, oh.
He go better.
I know say he go better.
He go better.
Today may be rough, tomorrow will be great. At the end of the tunnel, there will be a light. Today may be rough, tomorrow will be great. At the end of the tunnel, there will be a light. I say he go better, oh.
He go better.
He go better, I know.
He go better.
Sorrow may endure for a night, joy comes in the morning. Your love never fails, your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages past. Jesus in me, the hope of glory. I say he go better, oh.
He go better.
I say he go better, I know.
He go better.
Hold on to the Lord, hold on to his promise. During the time of Anna, he was faithful. In time of Abraham, he kept his covenant. He never failed, and he will never fail. I know he go better, just hold on.
He go better.
I say he go better, I know.
He go better.
He will never
fail.
My God will never
fail.
He has never I know he will never
fail.
I will hold on
to his promises.
Sister, hold on
to his promises.
My brother, just hold on
to his promises.
Daddy, hold on
to his promises.
Oh, just hold on
to his promises.
Hold on, he will never fail.
To his promises.
Just hold on
to his promises.
Hold on
to his promises.
mélòó ni kí n sọ lóore tó gbáyé mi ṣe olúwa mélòó ni kí n rò mélòó ni kí n sọ lóore tó gbáyé mi ṣe olúwa mélòó ni kí n sọ lóore tó gbáyé mi ṣe olúwa mélòó ni kí n sọ lóore tó gbáyé mi ṣe. Oh Lord, how many will I count? How many will I say of your goodness to me? Oh Lord, how many will I count? How many will I say of your goodness to me? Oh Lord, how many will I count? How many will I say of your goodness to me? Oh my Lord, how many will I say of your goodness to me? Oh Yame, saying na meka, saying na meka, oh Papa wa ya mama mi, oh Yame, saying na meka,
on mobile,
saying na meka, oh Papa wa ya mama mi, oh Yame, saying na meka,
station,
saying na meka, oh Papa wa ya mama mi, oh Yame, saying na meka, oh Papa wa ya mama mi.
You can get us on our WhatsApp number at 00447539.
While the others keep on talking, we keep on rocking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, good evening, listeners, and welcome to the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK. First of all, let me take this opportunity to apologize for the late start of the program. We were facing some few technical issues, but we've resolved it and we are on and ready to go. And tonight, straightforward to the point, it's going to be awesome. And I have my very special guest, an experienced mortgage broker who has been through the ranks and has done great deals in the industry. And tonight is no other person than Mr. Donald, who has joined us tonight to talk about a very unique topic that it's bothering a lot of people, especially in our community, the Black ethnic community, that it's concerning right to buy and also right to acquire, and it confuses, and many people are sort of in two minds when it comes to right to buy or right to acquire. So tonight, Mr. Donald, welcome to the Property Hour show.
Thank you very much.
And I believe that you're finding this place comfortable enough in spite of the weather.
I am comfortable.
The AC is doing its own job. But tonight, what if we talk about right to buy and right to acquire? Is it not the same thing?
In terms of the process, it's the same, but there is difference.
There's a difference. Okay.
A lot of people know about right to buy,
right,
but not a lot of people know about right to acquire.
Okay.
There is a difference. We have so many people who live in council properties,
okay,
both flats and houses,
right,
that are eligible to buy,
okay,
on a right to buy basis.
Sure.
Some have done it, many people haven't done it.
Okay.
Now, for right to acquire, it refers to those who live in housing association properties.
Right to acquire.
Right to acquire. It deals with housing association properties.
Okay.
Many people are eligible, but a lot of them haven't got a clue about right to acquire. So they haven't made any effort to try and buy their property.
Wow. Wow. So in other words, if you happen to be living in a council flat, you have sort of right to
buy it.
To buy it.
Yes.
Oh, that's good enough.
Yes.
And also, if you're in a housing association,
you have the right to acquire it.
You have the right to acquire it. That's English grammar describing the two. So, if let's say to talk about how long does one need to be in a, let's say, a council flat to be able to have the right?
Well,
for them to qualify.
Yeah, it depends from council to council.
Okay.
So the first thing people have to do is to approach the council to establish whether they have the eligibility to buy the property.
Sure.
Yes. Normally maybe 3 years or so. For right to acquire, it is the same thing. You have to approach your housing association, and then they will tell you whether you have the eligibility to buy the property.
Oh wow! I didn't know it was that straightforward.
It's that straightforward. That's all you have to do.
But it looks as if many people live in these council or housing flats or houses for a long time, and some people have lived there for 10 years,
yes,
for 15 years, and to them they still have to live there.
Yeah.
And I'm confused. That is it information?
You see, for the right to buy, it has been going for a very long time.
Right to buy, okay.
Yes. At the beginning, there was very heavy discounts for tenants. They had a lot of discounts.
Right.
And because the take-up was very high, gradually, the councils decided to bring, or the government decided to bring the discounts down.
Oh, right.
Which then deterred some people from buying the property.
Right.
Now, there are very good discounts given to council tenants as well as housing association tenants. So all you have to do is to approach a council or association, and if they tell you are eligible, all you have to do is to get an application,
yes,
submit an application, it will be processed, and then you take it from there.
Wow. Okay, now because of time constraints, I think we'll be just going straight to the questions that some of our listeners have posed over the last last week when we announced. So does one need a deposit? Because I was during my research, I picked up that other school of thoughts and also certain information were talking about you need a deposit. Some say you don't need a deposit for the right to buy.
You don't need a deposit.
You don't?
Yes.
Oh,
what will happen is that the council or the housing association,
yes, sir,
will give you a discount.
Okay.
So whatever they give you as a discount, it's your deposit.
Right.
And the reason they give discounts is because people have lived there for so many years and they have paid rent to the council or the housing association.
Right.
So dependent on the length of time you've lived there, they will give you a discount, and that discount will serve as your deposit towards a mortgage.
Wow. I believe that listeners, if you're listening to us live on the Property Hour show tonight, we have a seasoned mortgage broker with us, Mr. Donald, on Starr Radio UK, and we're talking about right to buy and right to acquire. And basically, I know that this is predominant in our community, which we're not taking advantage of. Not to take advantage of the system, but if it's your right, within your rights, then basically I believe that you have to step in and go through the necessary process. So, right, we've talked about the discount, if it's discounted. Now, I know this scenario that a housing association, there's an elderly lady that's lived in that housing association for, I believe this year will be about 18 years.
Okay.
But the housing association wrote to her when she approached them about her right to acquire, and they said no, there's a clause in the agreement that none of the tenants on that particular street has the right to acquire.
Okay.
So are there circumstances like that?
Yeah, there are circumstances whereby we have two types of housing associations. Some of them, they don't sell the properties.
They don't?
They don't. Others, you can acquire the property. So if you happen to belong to one of the housing associations who don't sell their properties, then obviously you won't be able to buy. But lots and lots of housing associations now do sell properties to their tenants.
Is that fair?
It is not fair. I know it's not fair, but
For you to leave, you see, when you if this lady had gone in for a mortgage, a mortgage literally takes about roughly 25 years.
Yes, of
so,
course.
25 years, you spend 18 years paying your rent, and you are told you can't acquire that if you're in a position to.
I think whoever you are talking of should be able to approach a housing association for them to give them the exact reasons why she's not entitled to buy. If it's because of the street or the building or property, that's a different thing altogether.
I think from what she told me, what she mentioned was that there was a housing association that built those properties. Now, another took over from them, and they changed the clause.
Okay.
So, with that, the tenants on that street are at a disadvantage.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And is there, with that, is there any way they can be compensated if they decide to move?
Well, they have to find out from the housing association what their rights are with regards to that particular clause. And if there's any resolution that can come their way, the housing association, I'm sure, will explain to them, to their understanding. But without knowing the exact housing association and the clause they are referring to, it's very difficult for me to advise tenants as to what to do.
I think there's a very tough one and harsh on them. Seriously.
It is.
Because if people in other counties or in other boroughs can, after 3 years, they have the right to buy it. But it's down to the clause.
It's down to the clause.
It's down to the clause. Now, if you want to join us, you have any questions or contributions tonight, if you want to join us, the studio lines are going to be open in the next 10 minutes, and you can join us on phone. It's 0208 133 2257 or 0208 133 2258. If you happen to be calling us from the US or Canada, it's 001 718 303 2737. And you can text us on WhatsApp. It's 07539 661744, or on Twitter at Starr Radio UK. And tonight we're talking about right to buy and right to acquire. And they're a bit of I'm trying to go through some of the questions that we've received. And so one other question about that. Now, if the person living in this particular lady was looking at downsizing, because there's a bigger property, and she was looking at downsizing. Now, she then, because she is a counsel at the moment, because she's also retired.
Okay.
So it's a bit of complicated.
Is she a council tenant or housing association tenant?
The property is a housing
association. Okay.
Housing association, and she is a council. Is the council that is paying for it.
Okay, because of her age.
Yes.
Okay.
So with that, and they were looking to downsize for her because the children have left home.
Okay. How was the size of the property?
Four bedroom.
4 bedroom. Okay. Well, in that instance, it's the same process. They have to approach the housing association and the council at the same time to see which of them will be able to find a suitable property for them. You
Wow.
It's quite simple.
It's quite simple. But where like most is if you qualify, you do qualify, then you don't really need a deposit.
If you qualify, what will happen is that evaluation of the property will be done by a surveyor, and then once it's been done, a value will be put on the property,
Right.
whether a flat or a house,
Right.
and then the council will give a discount.
Okay.
That discount that is given, let's say if it's about 100,000, becomes your deposit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about then
And then we, as brokers, we then look at the options of finding a suitable lender for the person.
Right. That's superb. I think that's sort of good news for
our kind of people.
Our kind of people. And I mean, I believe that many people do that. They go by the second-hand information, but tonight you're hearing it from an expert, and you know you're right. Now you have to also, and let me also go over our disclaimer that the information that we offering on air, it's not the final authority. Please do seek expert advice if you need to take any step, and that's very important to us. And also, if you will need to approach Mr. Donald, you're very welcome to do that, and I've got all his details that I'll put across before we end the program. So he's a very good a mortgage broker. He's handled big deals and big projects, so I can recommend him. But then after the program, if you want him, let me know. Now this one is saying okay, I'm trying to rephrase it. It's also the same. This question is almost the same. It's saying that, oh, I'm a council tenant, can I buy my council house? It's the same that you answered. So let me move to the next one. So right, in terms of the deposit, right, because some people, if they are first time buyers, might think that because they are not paying a deposit, then literally all the bits and pieces like stamp duties and other bits and pieces, do they have to, are they going to pay?
Yes, when you buy a property, it's a tax, property buying tax. So
right,
when you buy a property, you will have to pay stamp duty. It depends on the value of the property you are buying. Up to a certain value, you don't pay anything at all. Above a certain value, you pay stamp duty. But there is a process, because once you approach the council or the housing association, you make an application. They will assess your application, look at your income, and then look at the type of job you do, and then they will arrange to come and value your property. Once the property is valued, they will give you an offer.
Right.
Offer to buy the property.
So a valuation will take place.
Valuation will take place by the council.
By the council.
And then once the value is determined, the council will then give you a discount and then give you an offer to buy the property.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
That's where we come in.
That's when you come
in. Yeah.
That's good news.
To help with the mortgage application
and the process.
Yes.
Fantastic. And also I think I've got another question coming up. Let me go through it. So right, the question is, housing associations do offer two types of tenancies, the assured hold and short hold.
Yeah.
We are told that those offered a short hold cannot acquire.
Well, it depends on each housing association, and that's why it's very important to approach your housing association. They have a department
that deals with
all
the
right
queries and questions and concerns.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And the second, the other question is there any legal grounds to change from short hold to assured hold?
Okay, that's something again that the council will deal with. We as mortgage brokers don't get involved in those technicalities. Okay. So always our advice for first-time buyers or whoever is trying to buy council property or housing association property is to approach the council. They have a special department, and all our answers regarding legal requirements and income and every clauses and things will be dealt with by the housing association or the council.
Right. Okay. So a short hold, to be quite honest, to our listeners, maybe it might sound a bit foreign.
Yes.
Bit of like a foreign language, and a short hold and a short hold.
A short hold tenancy. It's basically a short-term tenancy.
Short-term tenancy. Okay.
Yeah. But it is assured. Probably if the tenancy is over 6 months, then it's assured. If it's over 1 year or 12 months, then that's assured short hold tenancy.
Right.
So it depends on the type of tenancy you've got with the housing association.
And the assured hold is also a different sort of tenancy.
Yeah, it's a different type of tenancy. If you buy a property yourself and you want to rent it to somebody, it will come under a short hold tenancy. So both of you, the owner of the property and the tenant, will sign an agreement, what we call tenancy agreement. That's what it refers to. It's basically to do with tenancy.
Oh, so it's basically the difference is the agreement.
Agreement, that's what.
Oh my. Thank you for tonight, Mr. Donald, because this is so confusing and
yes.
It sounds so foreign that we have no idea of.
Yes. I think tonight the best advice would be for people who haven't bought their properties,
yes,
to approach either the council or the housing association.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because of the discount, it makes it easier and possible for people to get mortgages. Obviously, it depends on different circumstances. But once you've approached your landlord, which is either the council or the housing association, and you've been granted the right to buy or right to acquire,
yeah,
when you come to us, we will do the rest.
Wow.
For the client.
That's a very, very good one. And the longer you've been in your council house or flat or housing association house or flat, the better, isn't it?
The better. That will determine the size of the discount.
The discount.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Some of the questions are coming through, but anyway, it's been it's a short time, but I believe that it's been a great learning curve and also
yes,
great information and educating for our listeners tonight.
Yeah, I think it's something that we have to develop over a period of time.
Sure.
To gradually get the questions coming,
yeah,
and then we answer them.
Okay.
And nobody's going to be able to understand it
everything
tonight.
Right.
So it would be better for us to continue the program for a while, in order that we'll give the listeners more explanation.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. To understand.
Wonderful. And I mean, tonight, when it comes to mortgages, I know your time is very short.
That's all right.
To talk about mortgages, you do both commercial and residential mortgages.
We do residential mortgages. We do commercial mortgages.
Okay.
We do development finance.
Development finance.
Yeah. We do right to buy. We do right to acquire. We do overseas mortgages. We do offshore mortgages. All these are different types of mortgages. And then finally we do investment mortgage, which is buy to let.
Okay. So you've outlined what you do. And are you South London based?
I am South London based, but I can reach people wherever they are. Yes.
Wonderful. So I mean, you've gone through all the categories of did I say opportunity? What you do. So, right, we'll have to have another section with you.
That's
so
correct.
We can break it down, because our time is very, very fast spent, and we have two other people coming on the program. But also to let listeners know that I'm missing my co-host, my brother, who is very strong. He's under the weather. Nei Ajayi is listening to us in bed. My brother, stay cool, stay put, you'll be okay. And thank you so much for all the texts that are coming through. We highly appreciate that, and those that are listening to us across the globe, we highly appreciate. And a bit later on, I believe about first week of September, we'll be talking about international mortgages and investment. We're going to talk about that. It's very, very important.
It's important because there are people who have mortgages already and would like to have a portfolio of properties.
Sure.
We will have to explain to people how that can be done.
Okay.
Because I have helped so many people to acquire a property and then build on it to become property investors.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Fantastic. But then I would like to say thank you so much for tonight, Mr. Donald.
It's a pleasure.
I know you're a very busy man, and
That's okay. Thank you
I know
much.
you've been working since morning, so tired. But then thank you for honoring our invitation tonight. But then, as I said earlier on, you're going to be in our studios shortly, so that we can go through all the bits and pieces and your services that you do offer.
Okay, that's fine.
I believe that will be a fantastic night.
Yes, that will help a lot.
That'll be great. Yeah. But thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Listeners, if you want to contact Mr. Donald, I'll put out his phone number or his contact number, so you can contact him any time. He's available to answer your questions and also to help out. So please, shortly I'll be putting that his details out, and you can contact him. Or if you choose to contact me on the studio lines, I'll be more than happy to direct you to him, and he'll be able to help you with regards to all your mortgage issues and investment when it comes to properties. Thank you so much, Mr. Donald, for tonight. Thank you. We're grateful. We take a break and we'll come back to the Property Hour on Starr Radio UK.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do you feel left out in your education or career but still want to do something about it? Then don't fret. If you are a resident in the UK, British or EU citizen, then there is hope for you. You are in the age bracket of 21 to 55. The UK government is offering grants, scholarships, and financial support for first degree to masters in various courses. The government will pay all your fees, and you can educate yourself in a peace of mind. From £21,000 per year for first degree, etc. Get in touch with GEM Educational Consultancy, and we will guide you in applying for this facility. We are situated at 51 Albany Road, Hornchurch. The postcode is RM12 4AE. Telephone 079 0479 3019, or email us pastorjoeka@yahoo.com. Get financial support and acquire a degree. Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theater nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates in London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex, and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com, or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632, or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment agency.
The Prasad's Automotive provides affordable, high-quality after-sales service to Bentley and crew-built Rolls-Royce cars, charging only 60% of main dealer labour rates. We offer health checks, servicing, diagnostics, air conditioning servicing, four-wheel alignment, pre-purchase inspections, brake repairs, engine removal repairs, and dent repairs. We're a team of highly skilled engineers. David Prasad was employed at Jack Barclay for over 27 years. At the Prasad's Automotive, we have the knowledge, experience and facilities that equip us to deliver excellence and quality to our clients at a personal level.
Mama, please stop crying.
Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie and Regina on the Family Enrichment Programme on Star Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people. Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Program brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Program this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Star Radio UK, your favourite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Download our app in iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Welcome back to the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, and we've got about 10 minutes to the top of the hour, and we're privileged also to have on the line another professional. He's a quantity surveyor by profession and also a property consultant, and he's doing well. He's a brother and friend, and no other than brother Emmanuel Entry. Good evening, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Hello, Emmanuel. Good evening. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Emmanuel? I think we've lost Emmanuel. and possibly we can get hold of him as soon as possible. But then tonight we'll be wrapping up with some bits and pieces about how you can get onto the property ladder, and that is the segment that we use in wrapping up, and to entice you that there's great opportunity and huge potential in the property industry. And I believe that tonight we'll give you some few bits and pieces that you can get out of it. Let me pick. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you, just that your voice is a bit faint.
Oh, my voice is a bit faint. Hello, Emmanuel. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it better now?
It's a little bit better. Yeah, we can talk.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us tonight. And
It's my pleasure.
yes, I know you're a busy man. But tonight, before we wrap up, just a few bits about how we can entice our community and people that are ready to. They have the passion, but even how to start is a problem. So how do we get somebody their focus into property?
Okay, so if I get your question right, what you want to find out is how do we get someone to come onto the property ladder, right?
Yes, literally.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I think it's a good question. We all know the benefits of owning a property in the UK. So to be quite frankly, it's not very difficult and it's not very simple as well. So
two worlds.
I mean, first of all, if someone wants to, for whatever reason, owns a property in the UK, there are set rules and regulations.
Yeah.
So number one, the person would have to be more than 18 years old.
Okay.
So if you want to own a property in the UK, and in most cases you have to be working, either self-employed or maybe you are employed and working whatever job it is. So that is the actual basis. So you have to be 18 and you have to be employed or you have to be self-employed. So once you pass through all those criteria, then I think for me the biggest issue which would interest most of your listeners is how to raise the deposit, because I cannot go into the basics into I cannot go into the details on what needs to do because we have limited time.
Sure.
So of course, whatever property it is you have to buy, you need to get a mortgage if you are not buying it in cash. And if you're a first-time buyer, there is an amount you need to contribute towards the mortgage you would want to acquire. If you already bought a property and you're a second-time buyer, there is also a percentage of the mortgage you have to pay or have to prove that you have. So ideally, most of the time, you are looking at around 5 to 10% for a first-time buyer. And that is where the problem is, because a lot of people find it a bit difficult to raise that money, the 10% or the 5%, especially if you want to buy in London. Properties in London are a bit, at the moment, expensive. So say if you are buying a property worth 200,000 and you have to raise a 10% of it, which is 20,000, to talk about your legal fees, solicitor fees, your stamp duties, and I mean, every other fee that comes along with it, it becomes a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
So I think with me, what I would focus more is how do you raise the deposit? Yeah. So
right.
How do you get the deposit?
Yes.
To go on the property ladder? Every other thing would come later because you have to think about it. So
yes.
How to raise the deposit? So
yes, Emmanuel.
First of all.
Yeah, go on.
Hello.
Yes, Emmanuel, I'm listening.
Yeah. So first of all, first of all, before you even think about buying a property, you first of all have to find out what type of property do you want. Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a flat? Do you want to buy a semi-detached? You know what I mean? You have to understand what type of building you want to. Now, when you get it, you also want to find out, is it on a freehold or is it, if it's not, then what are the options you have? Because if it's on a leasehold, then you are just going to own the property, but you have to be paying some sort of fee towards the land from time to time.
Okay.
So you also have to think about it. Mostly, if it's a flat, then it becomes a leasehold. Mostly, it's not always the case, but mostly, if it's a flat, then it becomes a leasehold. If it's a house, most of the time, it's a freehold. But I would advise that often it's better if you go for a freehold. In that case, when you bought it, you bought it. You are not going to incur any more cost.
Right.
So once you're able to establish that, and you're able to establish the location where you want to buy, why you want to buy. Some people want to buy for investment purposes.
Sure.
Some people want to buy for their first time home and all that. It would all depend. If you want to buy for an investment purposes, then there are strategies we can show you to raise your the deposit, so that you don't have to kind of keep all your money within the property. And again, like I'm saying, this is just for, I'm just saying this, it's just an advice, yeah? If it's for an investment purposes, there is a way you can raise the deposit so that you don't put all your money in one, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Otherwise, then you are going to be stuck. You can't invest in any other property.
Yes, Emmanuel, I know, I mean, time is almost up, but then before that, I know you're into apart from your career, you're also a property entrepreneur. Now, in simple terms, you've given us the whole setup for somebody to, if anybody is interested, to get into the property ladder, on the property ladder. Now, in simple terms, in the short time that we have, right? Somebody will say, you know what? I'm interested, but I don't have the money. Now, are there any bits and pieces that people can get into? Let's say they are working 9 to 5 and they are looking to get into the property business or on the property ladder. Now, do you have any practical way that they can start? Let's say the person is earning 1,500 pounds a month. After they are only to save, let's say 200 or 250 pounds. Are they would they be able to get on? What are the practical things that they can do to sort of plan ahead and get in onto?
I mean, ideally everyone can go on the property ladder if you have a very good record and you've gone through the bits and pieces. So I know it's the time. Again, we need to find time because this is not very straightforward.
Sure.
You need to understand it bit by bit. But what I can say is, number one, if you don't have a high income, that would mean that you may not be able to even pass the affordability. If you don't have the deposit, then that means that you cannot also get it. So you are looking at your income and you are looking at your deposit. If you're on a low income, say if you want to buy a property worth 200,000, whatever you earn will be multiplied. Some lenders will multiply it by 4, other lenders will multiply it by 5. So whatever you earn should be able to meet up whatever value the property is you want to buy. Now, if you cannot afford it, there are other ways you can do this. There are people you can think about having a joint venture. I've done some before where I have to include a colleague to purchase the property. Say if you earn 30,000 and the person also earns 30,000.
Yeah.
When you put your income together, that is 60,000. So it means that if you multiply 60,000 by 4, you are talking about 2,400. So 240. So you pass the affordability straightforward.
Okay.
So that is one area you can explore. So that is a joint venture. You can think about that. Apart from that, you can pick up a second job. You give yourself time and you pick up a second job. There are people who say they cannot do it by themselves. They want to do it by themselves. They don't like to go a joint venture. Then what you have to do is you pick up another job a second job, add it to your income, boost your income level, bring it up, and then do the job for like another 6 months.
Sure.
So that between 4 to 6 months, so that you can get more income. Because all they want to see is how many income do you have. If you say you have 2 incomes, and this one gives you that, and that one gives you that, and you can meet that affordability, then every lender will be willing to talk to you, provided you pass all the other checks. So that is number one. In terms of the deposit, again, I'm going to have to rush into this because ideally, I needed more time to talk about the deposits, but there is one important one that you
don't Emmanuel, don't worry about that. I know you're coming to the studio in the next couple of weeks, so don't worry about that. We'll talk. We'll catch up on that pretty soon, and we can get that. We can get talking about that now. I mean, sorry to cut in because of time. Let me chip this in. I think somewhere last week we also learned that you can get on the property ladder through crowdfunding. Crowdfund buy to let, where you also contribute to the pot, and then just like what you explained about the joint venture.
Yeah, I mean, with crowdfunding, it is not like owning a share of the property, but not necessarily owning the full property. So, say for instance, someone wants to sell a property. Say we have a crowdfund to buy a property worth 1 million, and then I contribute say £2,000 to it.
Yes.
If I buy a share of that and the property is bought, I owe a share of it. So I'm part of I'm an owner of the house. Literally, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So whatever proceeds that comes out of the house, I also get an interest on it. So you don't necessarily have a full control over it because there would be other people who would have interest in it as well. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So it's just like the government share to buy. You know what I mean? Where the government takes part of the say the government takes a percentage of the property, supports you with the deposit as well. So you own the property with the government. You don't own the property outright, but you own it with the government. Yeah. So you can't go. Yeah, there's different ways to explore this and own it. But ultimately, I think what people are mostly interested in is them having a physical building and say, this is my property. I bought this. I earn it. You know what I mean? That is what people are interested in. Yeah. But the crowdfunding bit, the help to buy, the share to buy, whatever, all those ones are just stuff that has been implemented to help us to go on the property ladder.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they are all good to explore. As you grow in the property business, you realize that sometimes you run out of funds. So you have to explore the opportunities where you think that the properties are going to appreciate as soon as possible. Then you can put in some small money, maybe some few thousands into crowdfundings and all that to own a share of the property. Yeah.
And then that can sort of put you up on the property ladder as well, isn't it?
I mean, it can. Ultimately, it can. But, things like crowdfunding and the rest, you don't necessarily own the property, but you own a share of the property.
A share of it, yeah.
Just a share. I remember there was one that was done recently by a company. I've forgotten the name of the company. And then one person's, I think there was a gentleman who contributed £100 towards the crowdfunding.
Oh, my.
And say, I think I bought a padlock of the property.
A padlock of the property. I mean, without a padlock, the property will not be complete then.
So it's still something, because at the end of the day, whatever capital appreciation the property, equity gain that the property gets, you also own something.
Yes,
and
of
it's better
course.
than putting the money, putting £100 in the bank without doing anything for you.
Exactly.
It's all about making your money work harder for you.
For
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if I can put £100 or £200 into a crowdfunding to owe a share of a property,
yes,
and I say, that property there, that blocks of flats there, I owe a share of it, And at the end of whatever year, depending on the agreement I went with them, the little money I put in is able to double up. I think my money has worked very hard for me, and for me, it's better than just keeping the money in the bank.
Exactly. Emmanuel, yes. We thank you so much for tonight, and I believe there's more for us to talk about. There's
a lot
more.
And I can't wait for the next couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Like we discussed.
Exactly.
But I hope you don't bring anyone else to kind of to take over my time.
No. Don't worry about that. You have a whole night to yourself when the schedule is done, and I believe that it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But then, hey, my brother, I appreciate your time and your contribution. It's been awesome. It's been great tonight, and the entire management, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, all right.
Your contribution.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, and much love to your listeners as well.
Thank you so much. And tonight, listeners, we've been listening to Mr. Emmanuel Antwi, a property consultant and also a property entrepreneur. He's a quantity surveyor by profession, and he's given us some tidbits about getting into the property ladder, and we highly appreciate that. And we've had on tonight as well Mr. Donald, who is a mortgage broker who has been around for a very long time, well experienced. If you choose to be, if you need any professional information, I can let me read out his phone details where you can contact him. You can reach Mr. Donald, a mortgage broker, on 079 57 508, and it's 079 57 508. You can reach him, or you can call the studio lines and you can get hold of me for any further information that you might need. And tonight, the studio lines, once again, if you choose to call for to get information about Mr. Donald, is 0208 133 2257, 0208 133 2258. Thank you so much for tonight. It's been good, even though we were time stretched, but I believe we've covered so much, and tonight it's been awesome. Thank you for joining us and listening to us. Those that have watched us on excuse me, on Facebook, I have loads and loads and loads of friends and family and other professionals watching us. Dr. Peter Safu Sobre. We have Nana Atakra PC, Alan Barton, Godfred Appiah, Bishop Fred Into, Doris Osu Asante, Kofi Ponsalan Appiah, and a whole host of friends and family that are watching online. And I know many hundreds of people are also listening to us on TuneIn radio and on the app, and also online and also on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening to us tonight, and I believe that we're getting somewhere with the property industry. We want to capture the industry and make it meaningful to our community, not just our community, but anybody that is available to get onto the property ladder or into the property business. They are great stuff that you can't afford to miss. So I believe that it's been great tonight. Thank you so much, and I want to thank my director and producer, Mr. Frank Davis, for steering the affairs behind the scenes, and we're grateful. And my brother and co-host Nay Ajay, I know you're listening to us. You're in bed, but my brother, you got to get out of bed, man. Your seat is waiting for you. You left everything for me, but hey, get better soon. And Sunday, Michael, I will send my details that you can get in contact with me. You're online, you're watching us. Thank you so much, guys. And till next week, God willing, we'll be on Spread the News. We're getting somewhere. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. We've got great experts and professionals coming on next week and the week after. We've got a whole lot lineup of big guys coming on, and how to get into property, how you can make your small room, you can be making something out of it legally, and you can use it. You can make money instead of getting it empty and not using it for anything. So tonight, thank you. It's been me, KBA Bossman, your host on the Property Hour on Starr Radio UK. Thank you. God bless. No stress, nothing less. Till next week, God willing, we'll meet you right here on Starr Radio UK. Thank you.
You got to recognize that wealth is intergenerationally created. Most people who get rich don't get rich in a lifetime. Oprah, that's once in a while. Bill Gates, that's once in a while. Most people are intergenerational wealth. That means what? That if black people want to catch up, we have to start saving wealth and passing it to the next generation. Our biggest problem ain't that we're splurging. Is that every time we splurge, we're stealing from our descendants. You're giving them no inheritance to get started with. But the white child, they're starting out $100,000 plus, $1 million plus. And I think we have to become more strategic in the way that we do our health plans, as well as our life insurance plans. Because what I'm learning with a lot of these white folk, a lot of them are getting their first, what you want to call a shock of wealth, through the life insurance policy of their parents.
We talk about that too.
Yeah,
so life insurance policy.
Yeah, so there's so many different strategies towards wealth that we're not even thinking about, because black people, our selfishness, it's also based on our, what you want to call it, emergency consciousness, survival instinct. We're only worrying about our life. We do not think about those who come after us. Now, you got to realize now, when we got out of slavery, white folks been already building wealth for a couple centuries. Right. We started behind the 8 ball, okay? So you got to play catch up. How do you catch up with somebody who's 100 yards in front of you? You have to run faster than they are. That means we have to sacrifice our spending habits more than everyone else in order to catch up. How does a people who are at the bottom waste money more than people who are at the top? So not only are you not catching up, you're not even thinking about trying to catch up.
This is good, and we got 1,000 questions, and we know you got a flight. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. No problem.
One fat, meat, juicy point. What would it be before you go?
I would say that we have to build our own schools. Everything we're talking about, the only way it becomes normalized, the only way it becomes a part of the collective black consciousness is if the children are raised with it as a group. Remember, all progress is group work. It's teamwork. That means we need all the children in Jackson to be taught the principles of financial empowerment. All the children of Jackson to be taught how to eat healthy. All the children of Jackson to understand what black family means and why it's so important. Until then, it's just a specialty. As we spoke earlier, diet being a specialty, wealth is a specialty. Think about it. If you're black and you're in the know about money and the laws of finance, you are a specialty. You are an eccentricity. You are an oddity. That's a problem. Because for white people, gaining wealth is a regular part of their everyday conversation. Even poor white people are regularly talking about wealth. Black people don't discuss wealth at all. We have to move it from the marginalized status it has and make it a mainstream topic of conversation.
Is there an answer? I know you can't just drop a 2-second answer.
No. Here's what I would say with the unity. Again, unity has to be incorporated into the collective consciousness, which means children have to be socialized to unite with one another. Remember, our kids are socialized to disunite. As a principal, right? I've had first graders, 6 and 7, talking about how black your skin is, how cheap your clothes is, how nappy your hair. You're 6. You just your first year in school. How do you know all this? The parents. We are teaching our kids to be Negroes. So the only way you're going to undo that is to teach them to be Africans, which is why I want my school to be residential. Because I know sending them back to the same house that created the illness after school is going to undo everything I do from 8 to 3. You got the kids for 16 hours. I got them for 8. I can't win. Because the brain is the creature of repetition. Whoever gets to this the most will rule it. What did Adolf Hitler say? Come up with a lie keep on telling the lie, be consistent with it. It ain't got to be the truth. But the brain cannot resist the temptation to believe something that is regularly presented before it. Repetition wins. We give our kids to white folks for the first 18 years of their life, then we want to remake them into Africans for the rest of their life. That's ridiculous. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. We give that to white people. And then when they turn 21, they already have habituated. They already have a personality. They already Oprah, that's once in a while. Bill Gates, that's once in a while. Most people are intergenerational wealth. That means what? That if black people want to catch up, we have to start saving wealth and passing it to the next generation. Our biggest problem ain't that we're splurging. Is that every time we splurge, we're stealing from our descendants. You're giving them no inheritance to get started with. But the white child, they're starting out $100,000 plus, $1 million plus. And I think we have to become more strategic in the way that we do our health plans as well as our life insurance plans. Because what I'm learning with a lot of these white folk, a lot of them are getting their first, what you want to call a shock of wealth through the life insurance policy of their parents.
We talk about that too.
Yeah,
so life insurance policy.
Yeah, so there's so many different strategies towards wealth that we're not even thinking about because black people, our selfishness, it's also based on our, what you want to call it, emergency consciousness, survival instinct. We're only worrying about our life. We do not think about those who come after us. Now, you got to realize now, when we got out of slavery, white folks been already building wealth for a couple centuries. We started behind the 8 ball, okay? So you got to play catch up. How do you catch up with somebody who's 100 yards in front of you? You have to run faster than they are. That means we have to sacrifice our spending habits more than everyone else in order to catch up. How does a people who are at the bottom waste money more than people who are at the top? So not only are you not catching up, you're not even thinking about it, trying to catch up.
This is good, and we got 1,000 questions, and we know you got a flight. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. No problem.
One fat, meat, juicy point. What would it be before you go?
I would say that we have to build our own schools. Everything we're talking about, the only way it becomes normalized, the only way it becomes a part of the collective black consciousness is if the children are raised with it as a group. Remember, all progress is group work. It's teamwork. That means we need all the children in Jackson to be taught the principles of financial empowerment. All the children of Jackson to be taught how to eat healthy. All the children of Jackson to understand what black family means and why it's so important. Until then, it's just a specialty. As we spoke earlier, diet being a specialty, wealth is a specialty. Think about it. If you're black and you're in the know about money and the laws of finance, you are a specialty. You are an eccentricity. You are an oddity. That's a problem. Because for white people, gaining wealth is a regular part of their everyday conversation. Even poor white people are regularly talking about wealth. Black people don't discuss wealth at all. We have to move it from the marginalized status it has and make it a mainstream topic of conversation.
Is there an answer? I know you can't just drop a 2-second answer.
No. Here's what I would say with the unity. Again, unity has to be incorporated into the collective consciousness, which means children have to be socialized to unite with one another. Remember, our kids are socialized to disunite. As a principal, right? I've had first graders, 6 and 7, talking about how black your skin is, how cheap your clothes is, how nappy your hair. You're 6. This your first year in school. How do you know all this? The parents. We are teaching our kids to be Negroes. So the only way you're going to undo that is to teach them to be Africans, which is why I want my school to be residential. Because I know sending them back to the same house that created the illness after school is going to undo everything I do from 8 to 3. You got the kids for 16 hours. I got them for 8. I can't win. Because the brain is the creature of repetition. Whoever gets to this the most will rule it. What did Adolf Hitler say? Come up with a lie, keep on telling the lie, be consistent with it. It ain't got to be the truth. But the brain cannot resist the temptation to believe something that is regularly presented before it. Repetition wins. We give our kids to white folks for the first 18 years of their life, then we want to remake them into Africans for the rest of their life. That's ridiculous. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. We give that to white people. And then when they turn 21, they already have habituated. They already have a personality. They already got hard habits. And now we want to re-Africanize them. Who does that? What people have ever gotten free, giving the best years of their children to their oppressor, the manipulator? The temptation to believe something that is regularly presented before it. Repetition wins. We give our kids to white folks for the first 18 years of their life, then we want to remake them into Africans for the rest of their life. That's ridiculous. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. The formidable years of conditioning is birth to 12. We give that to white people. And then when they turn 21, they already have habituated. They already have a personality. They already got hard habits. And now we want to re-Africanize them. Who does that? What people have ever gotten free, giving the best years of their children to their oppressor, the manipulator?
On your smartphone,
in your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Do you feel left out in your education or career but still want to do something about it? Then don't fret. If you are a resident in the UK, British or EU citizen, then there is hope for you. You are in the age bracket of 21 to 55. The UK government is offering grants, scholarships, and financial support for first degree to masters in various courses. The government will pay all your fees and you can educate yourself in a peace of mind. From £21,000 per year for first degree, etc. Get in touch with GEM Educational Consultancy and we will guide you in applying for this facility. We are situated at 51 Albany Road, Hornchurch. The postcode is RM124AE. Telephone 079 0479 3019 or email us pastorjoeka@yahoo.com. Get financial support and acquire a degree. Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theater nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates in London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex, and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632 or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment agency.
Ama bosoe, me wa ma menum nsama so.